everything that
Okay,
happened
we're live now. Okay, you can get started.
after everything that happened on Tumblr earlier today, and I calmed myself down. I went to the gym. I was running, and I was just like, okay. Last night's episode, it was a great episode. It was good.
Yeah.
It was better than the premiere. It was a damn good episode. It just was. And it didn't have none of our favorites in it. So it does give a little bit of accolade to the writing. Where I was having the issue was, it's like, oh man, Carol gets another good one. You know, Carol gets a kick-ass episode, and it was like, it kind of gave me, you know, I felt a little bit down. I was like, they can't write any good than Carol. That's how I was feeling.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely empathize, like, and I feel the same way. It just feels like they only know how to write for one woman, and that's Carol. So
yeah.
and then they're kind of doing the same thing with Jessie. Like, they're giving her a similar story. It's like, okay, maybe they can write for another woman, but it's the same story. So that's kind of repetitive.
Yeah.
And then there's also the conflict with Morgan, which is very repetitive.
Yes.
Because we saw the same issue last season with Tyrese, where Carol's like, I have to kill people, and Tyrese was like, no, I can't. And here we have Morgan doing the same thing. And it's just like, why is Morgan being like this? Because people are starting to blame Kim for the wolves coming to attack, which, I mean, I can understand. Oh, hey, Kim.
As far as Morgan goes, it just feels like, it really does feel like they are constantly emasculating the black men. And I mean, maybe that's just the way I'm seeing it. But, you know, so now Morgan, who hasn't learned his lesson, I mean, not learned his lesson, he may actually have this Zen kind of attitude about not wanting to, you know, kill anybody, but there's a fine line with not wanting to kill anybody and then having to kill somebody, and not having any kind of remorse behind it, because they were going to try and kill me. You know, after that, you should really be able to brush it off, as far as I'm concerned. They were trying to kill me. They were trying to hurt my family. It's a done deal. This is why when they started coming up with this thing about Jessie, and oh, now she's a badass, this, and Emmy was talking about it on there. It's not believable, yes, because it's only been a span of a couple of days. I get that. But on the same token, I am tired of seeing weak women all the time. That is really bothering me, and that has to do with me being the female. I'm tired of seeing that. And unfortunately, like me and Emmy was discussing earlier on Tumblr, they should have started trying to bring that strength up back then in season 5, not just burst it out of nowhere.
Yeah, it feels like it's a reaction.
So when everybody's been talking about they got the issues with Jessie, you know, I'm all right with. I never hated Jessie. I hated everything. She's gonna die. This is the thing. She's gonna die. That's done. Anybody who follows the comic or has even heard about the comic know how iconic that death is supposed to be. So as far as I'm concerned, it's got to be her. If it's not her, you're going to alienate.
Can you say that? Can you say that part again, please?
A lot of the ones that you're going to alienate them. So I don't particularly story. I don't line. You have a problem with alienate that. As an intruder coming in your house, yes, she coming to hurt you and your kids. You go off. You can be crazy. That's a rule of thumb in my house. I tell my girls, right? I said, if anybody come up in this house and I'm not here, you got permission to grab the aluminum bat and you can go to town on them. I don't care. You know, that's how I feel about it. So that's why I'm not really having too much of a problem with the Jesse thing.
I don't agree. I'm sorry. I think maybe it's personal now, or maybe I just need to like step away from the fandom a little bit, because I was talking to Kay about this a little bit earlier. The problem that I have with the storyline is I think maybe it just got impersonal, and I'm very avid in social media, and I didn't appreciate the actress trying to put the fans, most importantly the Richonne fans, under the bus, and the writers, and then having to delete it. But it's the backlash of it all, and then giving me the impression of trying to use your son as an excuse for the abuse, and then telling your son that Rick is a friend. It's like that's just off to me, and it's very unsettling. And at this point right now, they can try and make her as strong as she possibly can, but to me, she'll always be weak. So there, I said it.
All right, well, we got a couple more people who've joined us. So hi, Ash, and hi, Tennille.
Hi. Hi, Tennille.
So what do you guys think about episode 2, JSS?
I didn't like it.
Uh-oh. Thank you, Tennille.
I didn't like it. I feel like it's just the same thing that we saw last season. You know, you look at Morgan, I feel like he's another Tyrese. You know, he doesn't want to kill. He's weak. Carol is, you know, making him look bad. And it's just the same repetitive thing. And then the same thing with Jessie, you know, them trying to make her a badass. It was just too much. And then I'm like, how did she know to even get down in the fetal, whatever she was doing, crawling on the ground, and like, she knew what to do. It just was not believable at all to me. I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize. I think, like Emmy agrees with you. I agree with you in a way. There's no need to apologize for your feelings.
Yeah.
So what were you thinking, Ash?
Oh, well, I liked it because I love Carol, and I like seeing Carol and Morgan kind of, you know, the differences between them. They're on opposite sides of the spectrum right now, and I just really enjoyed that part. I hated the Jesse part because, again, like, I'm sure everyone feels the same way. Like, where does this come from? It doesn't make that you're like, all of a sudden, you think you can be Carol. Like, no, it doesn't work that simple. So I was annoyed by that, and that they're trying to make her this quote-unquote strong character before they kill her off, which is, it's so obvious that's what they're doing. And I'm just over that. But everything else, I like seeing the other Alexandrians, like Aaron, he kind of was awesome. I wish they'd show more Rosita and Maggie, but that's okay. I just like being Alexandria for a minute and seeing how that was going down.
I'm not okay with the lack of Maggie. No, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Too.
I'm like emotionally like. I wrote everything down yesterday so I didn't have to forget, and like I had told Kay earlier, like I told my husband like what I was feeling about last night's episode and what they were trying to do, and it frustrates me because I don't know who it was on Tumblr posted, you know, like how are we as Black women supposed to voice our opinion when we're already being looked at as angry? I'm not angry. I'm just frustrated. It's like you have all these women on the show. It was directed by a woman, and yet you give all these scenes to one woman.
One woman.
Yeah, I think that's my problem. So
I just don't know what they're doing with Carol. I don't know if they're trying to make her like the new, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with Carol. She's just taking up too much airtime. I like Carol, but like I said, I don't need another season 5. It's just season 6.
Not even another season 5 or season 4. Remember, season 4 she got good episodes. So it's another season 4 or 5.
Well, I feel like season 4 was more even. Like she had a good episode, but like everybody else had a good episode too. It wasn't just her having one.
I didn't like that. Still, I didn't like the Daryl Beth episode. I didn't like it at all.
It was just fail.
Yeah, but if you're talking about airtime, everyone got it equally, kind of. Like Carol had her good episode, but she was gone for like
90%
maybe 3 or 4. She wasn't in the finale, so I think it was. I'm okay with her having that episode in season 4. Season 5, I thought, yeah, they didn't need that whole episode for just Daryl and Carol. That was boring, I thought.
Yes.
Yeah. It doesn't move. Some of the episodes just don't move the story along to me. Some of the episodes, I'm like, I could have done without that. What was the point of that? You know?
Right. They've got like the action episodes, and then they've got the character building episodes. And so, like, for me, I can understand why they're doing that from a thematic standpoint. But I kind of feel like if they're going to do this, if they're going to, like, break it up and separate them, they should just release all the episodes at once so we can, like, see the whole story rather than have to wait every week and then have such a long time without, like, our favorite characters.
Yes.
Because I'm waiting a week, and I'm like, really? I waited a week for this? I thought it was going to be better. I really did. It was just too much. I was trying to keep up with it. I was like, what? Okay, we over here, we over there. What? You know, it was just all over the place. It was all over the place.
That's what I liked about the episode, because that last episode, the premiere, was so it felt like just a regular episode. Last night's episode had my heart racing. I was like, oh shit. She's out there smoking a cigarette. Somebody come and smash her with the machete. I was like, what's going on? It was like exciting. Like I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Put it that way. So in last week's episode, I was glued to the TV, and it was like, all right, you know, okay. But last night episode, that was hot. That was hot.
Yeah, it's definitely intense and suspenseful and exciting and action-packed, which makes it a good episode. But there were some, like, such odd moments for me. Like, you have, like, the scene where that woman gets cut up by the machete, and then the next scene is, like, Carl and Enid, and they're just kind of sitting there. And it's so long and slow, and then her comment, like, oh, they're just people. Like, no, they're not just people. They're people that are killing people, and they're slaughtering people, and you're just like, it's like blocked you. That's really strange. And it was out of place, I thought. Like, they all should have been, I don't know, more ramped up.
I didn't know she knew that they were being attacked, because she was so calm. I was like, does she even know that Alexandria is being attacked right now? So she just walked in like, oh, I'm gonna leave, but you know, I'm like, does she even know what's going on?
I think she's about to go.
Well, I just thought that she had something to do with it. I feel that Enid has something to do with the wolves.
Oh,
that's what I'm starting to think.
Theory. That's a very interesting theory. Yes, that she may have had something to do with it. Although, given Enid's the backstory that we got from her, there's no saying that we couldn't inject that she's come across or hidden from bad people. We really don't know how long she was out there. So,
well, and they said she was out there alone for like a couple of weeks.
They said like a week, maybe. She said a week, maybe 2 weeks. Okay, but after a while, if I'm putting myself in the shoes of the character, the days start to run into one another. She got hungry enough to eat a turtle raw.
Okay, they're turtle to the bone. Ate that turtle to the bone.
That is serious. Let me tell you something. I know that I'm a grown woman, and it's like it probably would have taken me a week following that turtle around before I decided. I was like, yo, you done. And then done raw. She ate it raw, y'all. She ate it raw. She opened it up. She cut it off. She ate it raw. So she didn't even have like get no matches from her scavenger and said, I'm gonna cook it a little bit. No, she ate it right there and then. You know, so it had to be at least a week, maybe longer, that she just decided. And that was another thing that I didn't like about the beginning of it. I thought it wasn't going to really interest me with Enid. But Enid got to her survival mode quickly, and it reminded me of I hate to get off topic, but remember the little girl that had she was in the plane, had the plane crash, and all her family died. She was like 8 or 9 or something, and she survived, and she tracked through the woods and everything and found that house. I forget where it was. I want to say it was Kentucky or something like this. But she was 8 or 9, and I remember, and even the guy that found her, the house that she came upon where they helped her, even the old man was like, I wouldn't be traveling through those woods in the dark by myself. You know, so it gives you kind of a little bit of perspective as to what happens when you are in a desperate situation. And Enid's lower brain kicked in and was like, I need to survive. That's all it is. And she did whatever she had to. That's why she ate the turtle. You know, so I like that story as far as with the realism of it, because we hear stories about kids all the time. And it's like, why, you look at them and say, why are you still here? Because my instinct kicked in. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know that I was going to grab that turtle up and open up his ass and start eating his guts. I didn't know I was going to do that. All I know is that my brain told me I needed to do that. So, you know, I like Enid's stories thus far. And I was only saying that to say we don't know who she may have been hiding from. She may have seen the wolves. The wolves wouldn't have had no problem about killing her. If they couldn't recruit her, they definitely would have killed her. So maybe they were running, you know, in the same area, and she saw how they roll, and she realized that, you know, people are people. This is bad. This is real bad. But that's just me and my kind of right of mind filling in the blanks that they don't give us. Put it that way.
Well, I don't think I don't think she is a wolf or that she's involved with them, but yeah, I agree. She could have come across them or maybe seen them before. So right. I guess we'll find out more. But I just thought it was a really odd scene. And then there were other scenes that just felt kind of like just a little bit too long. Like they're, I don't know. And then, of course, like the scene with Morgan and Gabriel, and they're like tying up that guy. It felt like why is he wasting his time trying to save this guy, and then of course Carol comes up and just kills him. So
and then the ending when Carl, when what was it that casserole finished, that was kind of, what did that symbolize? Because I thought that was so corny.
No. That symbolized how fast the incident happened. That's all it was about. Because when you go back and you look at the scene when Carol does the timer for the casserole, puts it in, she turns the timer and she looks out the window. She's watching the neighbor across the street smoking a cigarette, and then the hatchet come in. So that thing about the timer and I thought that was great. That was really good writing, because it goes to show you just how fast all shit went off. That's how how quickly it was contained. It was contained in 45 minutes. Now that is very unbelievable to me. I'm sorry. Carol's a badass. Carol's not Flash. All right, she ain't Flash. I know she ain't contained all that. That's in 45 minutes. I'm sorry. No, She ain't do all that. She a badass. I'll give it to her. I like Carol, but she ain't fast like that.
It still wasn't contained though. There were people that actually got out. I didn't really. Honestly, I was expecting that thing in the oven to burn. Really.
I really thought that Carl was gonna start eating.
You know,
I thought he was gonna start
something, right? Yeah, I really thought that something significant. I completely get the whole 45 minutes of, cooking time to killing the Alexandrian wolves.
Emmy, in real time,
it didn't take no 45 minutes.
I was like,
I know, Emmy, in real time, that casserole would have been burnt.
And then Carol would have been mad.
It wouldn't have been edible. It wouldn't have been. It would have been in there at least long enough so that it would have caught a flame. It'd be like, oh shit, we got a house fire.
We gotta handle this fire and the wolves.
Yeah, it wouldn't. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
You know what I thought was unbelievable? How the horn went off and then Morgan was there all of a sudden.
Yes! How the hell did he get there before? Okay,
he was Flash.
And how was that walker steering the truck?
No. I don't think that he was the walker. The guy in the truck wasn't a walker.
Yes, it was a walker.
He was a walker. That was the walker.
Well, if it wasn't a walker, then he turned really quick.
He turned very fast.
He just turned really quick. Spencer shot him.
Okay, they inconsistent because sometimes it be taking 15 minutes to an hour for them to turn. So once he hit that wall, he turned.
And he looked real needy.
He's consistent. It has happened. It has happened before. I think they've mentioned that it takes different times for different people. Some people turn really fast. Some people turn a lot longer.
Juicy. I'm just saying it looked too juicy.
It's like your own constitution. Some people get the flu, some people don't. Some people get killed right away and it takes 2 days for them to turn. Some people get killed and it takes 5 minutes.
I got a strong immune system, so it'll take a while for me to turn.
My theory was a wolf actually put the walker in the truck and.
That's me.
And
that's what I think.
Like maybe cinder blocks.
I was thinking that too, but I guess for me it doesn't really matter.
That is nice. I like that idea.
I don't know. I just felt like the walker was too juicy looking to be turned just as quickly. So
yeah.
See, like how long it took for Spencer to get out of the tower, though.
I hear you, Ash.
You see screenshots. That's what happened. He shot the guy. That's why he ran into the wall, I think, is that he killed him. And then he turned into a walker while Spencer's trying to get out.
But look, can we just take a moment to look at the walker for a minute? The walker was like
kind of dingy. It was dingy. It wasn't a fresh walker.
Exactly. Like you just.
It was dingy.
We've seen people.
But even if it took Spencer a while to get out of the tower, and it took Morgan a while to get there. That would seem like more than 45 minutes, and yet they're trying to tell us that it all happened in 45 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not gonna try to figure it out, but that's what happened. You can see the gunshots.
Yeah. They definitely don't try to pin down time frames. They don't try and pinpoint it only took an hour to do this. Even when it comes to like weeks on end, they don't try and pin that down, and that's to their benefit. We don't know exactly how long all of that had been going on before the truck crashed into the wall.
Right, but
then don't you miss the days of when The Walking Dead made sense, though? When The Walking Dead, you were like, you know what, that could really happen. Now you like, really, how can that be possible?
Yeah. Exactly. I just, if that's the case, Lainey, then they shouldn't have put that ending with the whole timer with the oven.
I'm telling you, I feel was my feeling that. Because I thought they were going to sit down and eat. That's what I thought. It was so corny to me. Anything could have happened in that scene.
There was a lot of things that was just unnecessary in that episode. But I know it was like fillers. I feel for Spencer, though. I really wanted him to grow some balls last night. I really did. You know, I didn't want him to just be a pretty face. You know, I wanted to get all dirty and like defend his home, but he didn't do that. I was very upset with him.
The only one out of them Alexandrians that was kicking ass and taking names was Jesse.
Aaron was doing.
Aaron was actually outside.
Aaron or Zena?
Aaron was good. Aaron was good.
And Denise,
yes, so was Zena.
Yeah, Aaron and Rosita was together. They were.
And Denise pulled through, kind of.
Aaron was there to, you know, Aaron came there. He was there. He was on the front lines, and it was. And this also leads me into the other discussion point that I wanted to hit upon was Deanna, because Deanna is coming from a state of how politicians are now in present day and trying to be a leader. And that thing where Maggie, they were on outside and this Spencer's there and they got rid of him. Morgan is trying to get in. And when Maggie turns to her and said, we need to get in there, we need to try and, help. And when Deanna did that joint about, no, I can't fire a gun, I can't fight, I'm going to stay here. And she was willing to do it, and I get it. Deanna knows her strengths. That is something that everybody should know. But on the same token, it's like the look that Maggie gave her, it was like, damn, like you ain't even like this, it's like I'm getting ready going. I'm a kid next to you and your age, and you mean to tell me you're not even going to go in there and represent? You're their leader. If anything is supposed to happen, at least as far as I'm concerned with a leader, it should be a case of, listen, I don't know what show me how to load this gun real quick. 5 minutes. I'm going in there to try and save my people. Like this.
If Jesse can do it, she can do it.
There's no reason for us to be surprised. We knew that this was going to happen. I knew Deanna was going to go inside.
If you're going to be a leader, even if you can't do what your soldiers can do, you still need to be able to go in there and prove that, you know what, I am with you all the way. And she didn't do that, and that's going to come up again later on in the latest episodes. She did not represent. She did not go in there. How could she not? Listen, somebody tell me I'm the leader, and I would never go as far as to be a leader. But if I'm the leader, some shit is going on in my little community. I'm pulling Maggie aside. She was like, we need to go in there. All right, you need to show me what I need to do with this Glock, or with this machine gun. What do I need to do? And Deanna did not do that. And you could see the workings in her head when she got in the truck, when Spencer put her in the truck. And at least in my mind,
I think she's been through a lot in the past few days, and I think she has kind of given over that leadership to Rick and saying, you take over now, so I need some time to process all this stuff. And I think that will be a catalyst to her doing that and her saying, you know what, I do need to learn how to use a gun. I need to learn how to use a weapon. I couldn't do it then, but I will from this point on. So I don't have a problem with what she did.
But she didn't do that. She went ahead and said, oh, we're all going to listen to Rick, all of us. It was her ego being in play. She should have been able to relinquish power right then and there when she was being ambivalent about it. at the moment that Rick told me that there was 1,000 walkers less than 10 miles away, it would have been like, I need you to stay behind just for a second to show me what how to use weapon. That's me, but that's me. Maybe that's not.
Oh no. No. You didn't hear Jessie last week? She was getting trained by Rosita.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
But Deanna didn't try and seek out being trained on weapons, even by her son, who is a shitty sniper. She didn't even seek out. Maybe you need to show me how to use a gun.
Yeah, but she's also grieving, and she feels like she's lost her power. I think that's why Maggie is trying to get her to take back her role, because she relinquished it, and Maggie's like, no, we still need you, but she doesn't feel that way at the moment, and I think it's understandable that she doesn't feel that way right now. And I think after this event, after what happened, I think she will start to grow and realize that, hey, I need to learn and defend myself.
Well,
so that if it does happen again, I can.
I'll say this, and then I'll let y'all say something, right? I'll say this: you can't. She's coming from a modern day situation, right? Where political leaders can talk all that shit, they don't have to back it up. But she has an inkling, or she knows what's going on out there. She may not told all her people. She may not told all her people. But there are rules to being a real leader. There are rules to it. And you cannot sit here and say that you're going to go ahead and divvy out all these jobs and everything, or warriors and soldiers, and not be able to do it yourself. That is important. You got to be able to step up to the game, and she did not. I know that's going to come back on her. And I totally appreciate the fact that her husband was killed, yesterday, and her son was killed the other day. But if you choose if you willingly decide to become the leader, you got to be able to know how to draw that line. And I think that she was trying to do that when she said, oh, we're all going to follow Rick. All of us are going to do it. But it was kind of false.
I don't think it was false. I think she was saying, I'm not fit to be the leader anymore. So,
but she didn't say that. But she didn't say that.
Well, she might not have said that, but I think that's how she feels.
She didn't say that she wasn't going to be the leader no more. She went ahead and tried to do the ego thing. Oh, we're all going to follow Rick, instead of relinquishing the power and giving it to Rick.
But she did give it to Rick. He's the one that's leading the effort against the zombies. He's the one that's telling them that they need to fight. I mean, if he left Alexandria without showing them how to, arming them or telling them how to do it, that's on him then, because he was the one who was leading it.
And he's been telling them that they need to get tough, and we're going to show you how, and
And she was willing to.
It seems like they have to do it themselves rather than him putting someone in charge of training them. So I don't know. I don't have a problem with Deanna.
Deanna should have gave up that power back when she knew that she was doing the grieving, as opposed to trying to hand out orders and everything. If she knew in her heart that she was not fit to lead, she should have been like, listen, I'm going through some shit right now. I'm giving it over to Rick. Give it to him. But she's trying to still keep it in control. And I guess to some degree, I guess that's well enough because it's your people. But that was a bad decision on her part, because a lot of her people got killed. A lot of them did.
Mm-hmm. I think she's going to have to deal with that. I mean, I think that scene where she realized she couldn't be in there was really well done, because it was kind of sad that she realized, I'm not equipped to do this. But right. I'm not sure that, giving up her power, I wouldn't just give up my job because I'm not feeling well or my husband died, Like, I would say, Rick, you can take over for this, and that's basically what she did. But all this stuff kind of came in, and they weren't expecting it. Like, to find the herd and then the wolves, like, all of that happened before Rick could train them. So it's like,
yeah, kind of a lot on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, we got a question from someone on Tumblr. Let me find it. Which is completely off topic, but...
I'll answer it.
Okay, hold on, let me find it.
Give me an off-topic question, please.
Okay. So, Cupcake Crisis said, "Hello, I wasn't quite sure where to ask this question, so I thought here. I've been thinking a lot about the end of the series, seeing the characters grow up so much. I was wondering, what would you like to see in the end, specifically for Richonne? In the last episode of the final season, what would you like their last scene to be together?"
Oh, God.
It was kind of heavy to think about, haha.
No, I had a whole little thing about that as far as the show if it comes to the very end.
They're asking for a finale episode.
Yeah, nobody makes it.
Richonne in the finale.
Yeah, no one makes it. It's
already been. You want to say die in the last episode?
Well, I think the finale. I honestly.
That's my personal thought.
I do believe that All Out War is going to be that finale episode.
Oh, I don't think so at all.
No, I don't think so either. No. I mean, the world is dead. How much more can you do? I think, sure, it's going to end with Rick and Michonne together. I mean, it might even end with them dying and Carl taking over.
I think that's going to happen before the end.
You think Rick's going to die?
Okay, well, put it like this. Well, what's the longest series that you can recall? What's the longest running season for the series that you can recall?
The X-Files?
I think ER had like 15 or 16 seasons or something. Grey's Anatomy is only 12. I think it could.
But is it the main character?
What'd you say?
Oh, did the main characters survive that long?
Oh, I don't think so.
In ER, I think it like changed a bunch of times.
Yeah, it's just. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see Rick dying like season 10 or 11 or something, and then Carl kind of taking over. But I can tell you what I don't want to see happen. I don't want to see Richonne like staying in the same place that they are now, where it's kind of like, oh, are they romantic or are they just friends? And then like right before Rick dies or right before Michonne dies or whatever, then that's when they finally to say, oh, I love you, and then that's it.
That would really make me mad.
That would be so awful.
I will burn down something.
That would be bad. But, you know, the last series I do remember that I will never forget is actually 6 Feet Under. I like that series finale.
That was my show.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Yes.
So
that was my show.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
I might get around to watching it.
What was it, like 5 years ago? And Kay, you haven't seen this series yet?
I watched like the first couple of episodes, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I really like it, but
no,
it was so good.
It gets better.
It was so good.
It definitely gets better. It gets better. That is
you get really invested.
That's a good series to watch.
Yeah, you get very invested. It's a series finale that really touched home with me. I think True Blood series finale sucked ass. Like,
yes.
Season.
The last couple of those seasons were horrible.
And
I don't know why I stayed invested.
I didn't like CSI series finale. I think it was terrible, but then I lost interest when they killed Warwick in 2010. I'm very bitter about that. See? I told you guys. When they kill off my favorite, I will be bitter to the very, very end.
This was the same thing with True Blood. And True Blood was good.
Tara's that too. So, but you know,
True Blood was good all the way up until they killed what's the guy, Roger, that old guy, the one with the fake Southern accent. Anyhow, True Blood was only good up until like the 4th or 5th season. That was it. That was it.
So I gotta get something out of that.
I'm sorry. But I know that True Blood became like really shitty after about the 1st or 4th season. All right, but The Walking Dead has surpassed that. And just in regards to Baby K's the chat person's question, as far as personally, I don't think it's going to go past All Out War. That's just me. But only reason why I'm saying that, or maybe I shouldn't say All Out War, I don't think it's going to go past season 9. That's what I'm going to say. I don't think it's going to go past season 9. Only because, as you can see right now, Andrew Lincoln he's being very vocal about where he's being very vocal and promoting about where he wants the story to go.
Right. You know what that tells me?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lainey. You know what that tells me? It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you guys had ever watched Friends. They were all very vocal on their character development, and you know what the network did? Gave them all a pay raise and give them exactly what they wanted as far as executive producing the show or writing an episode or two. I don't know if and when the showrunner will give the reins over to these actors.
Yeah, they're not going to do that. They're not.
AMC's not.
How is it? Why not? I mean, look at Bones, for example. You got 2 of these well-known actors and actresses, and they're writing these episodes, and they're executive producing, even directing it. You got Jensen Ackles from Supernatural. He is directing episodes. I mean, to me, with Andrew Lincoln opening his mouth like that, that tells me, okay, you know what? This is what I want. I think he's just ready to give like them an ultimatum.
This is the thing is that Andrew Lincoln, what Andrew Lincoln is doing, and you can all, because you all are avid watchers. Andrew Lincoln never came out and said what he wanted to see in the show. All he did was abide by the writers. And for whatever reason, 2015, he starts vocalizing what he wants. Now, word in the rumor mill, as at least on the internet, is that he signed a contract 6+1. He's been on there going on 6 years. What is he doing? He's vocalized. He never vocalized what he wanted. He damn sure didn't vocalize what he wanted to see in a love interest. He is saying it all over the place.
Because he wanted to.
He's been in the business for years.
You have to give some kind of control to the actors and actresses of the show. I mean, that's who we're watching. We as a fan, we expect a lot from them. And if we're disappointed in a certain element of a scene or an episode in whole, and then all of a sudden, especially in season 5, you have a few people saying whatever it is that they need to say, then you have to take notice. I mean, Norman Reedus, he is fan favorite, but you cannot tell me that he was very disappointed at some of the questions that he got at the Comic-Con. You have to see it in their face. And I mean, Danai is a playwright. Why are they not asking her to write an episode or 2? This is what we need to pay attention. Once he start talking, don't worry, the rest of them will follow. And that's when we really have to pay attention. So,
Well, wait a minute. They got Camille is here and she's in the chat. All right. So she says, "Oh, wait a minute." I don't know if you guys covered it yet. Sorry, I was so late. But do you think the appearance and death of Holly was meant to be significant to those who read the graphic novel? By the way, I totally agree. Denai has qualifications over everyone. She should write an episode. I totally agree.
I don't know about Holly. I was really disappointed over her death, to be honest.
Yeah.
That was really confusing. Like, why did they let her?
What was the point of introducing her and you killed her off? She didn't even speak.
Yeah.
See, that's the stuff I'm talking about with The Walking Dead.
No.
That makes me mad. There was no point.
I guess she was the only, like, Alexandria that we had even, like, really heard that much about, other than Mrs. Niedermeyer or whatever, the one with the pasta maker. So I guess they, like, when they were killing off all of these people, I guess they wanted some of them to be someone that we might have actually known or kind of cared about. I was kind of attached to Holly, but only because I've been playing her a lot on my Walking Dead game. So.
No.
Oh, that's who she is. Oh, she's dead.
You know what it is? It's well, I don't know how old you are in the chat or in the video chat, but it reminds me of Cheers and Norman's wife. Remember Norm? Anybody who's out there as old as me. And Norm's wife, it was always the name. It was always the name that was there. We never saw her. All we know is that that she bullied her husband into coming out the bar, staying out there all that time. But I really do think that Holly is a character that they were just trying to pay homage to. Because even when
Sorry, I was just gonna say, but she has like a significant role in the graphic novel. So by killing her off, that means that they're gonna have to give it to somebody else.
They're going to give it to Francine, the one that was working you think they'll give it to her? Only thing is her hair is black. It's short, it's black. She works at the construction site with Abraham. They could give it to her.
I guess if they're going to go the Abraham Cheats route, then they would give it to her because they're the ones that they've shown kind of a connection already.
Right.
Exactly. But but anybody else as far as with the last scene, I don't think that it's going to go past the season 9. I think it's going to always be the end of All Out War. I mean, I'm guessing, but from what it seems like to me, Denai has got her thing going with being a playwright. She's getting, many accolades about her plays and everything, and I'm sure she's got movies that she's looking at. I don't see it going that long without the main players, because Carol had a kick-ass episode last night, but can she carry a whole series? No, I don't think so.
Yeah. I would get tired of seeing her every week.
I don't see her going past All Out War.
Her doing the same thing she do every episode.
Mm-mm.
Now that we got back onto the Carol thing,
did we hit a nerve?
I have a comment that has been bothering me for so long, and I guess, okay, I just want you guys to know that I don't find Carol to be the queen of the zombie apocalypse, and I look at the word queen a lot, and I guess maybe I'm just so obsessed with history, queen, meaning too, and I mean, okay, so you have to be a great ruler, a leader. You have to do right for the people and, by the people, and you have to protect the king and, all this stuff. Granted, Queen Elizabeth did not need a man to protect her people. But I was like, okay, can someone explain to me what else has Carol done to protect teen family besides Terminus?
That was a big thing. They'd all be dead.
I'm waiting. So I'm asking
Well,
you guys.
I mean, I think if you're questioning her leadership, I can agree with you because we haven't really seen her be a leader. We've seen her like take out stuff. Like she's a great knight or she's a great general, but like she doesn't like try and get people to work with her. She's just like, it's my way or the highway. And I don't think that makes a good leader. I think it makes her really good at like being a knight or whatever, but she's not, to me, she isn't a leader. She doesn't try to communicate with her people. She doesn't try to, like, we know that she loves her people and that she will do anything for them, but I don't see her as a leader.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think she inspires anyone to like greatness or anything. I think Rick is definitely the best person to have as a leader. And I kind of like, I understand people, her fans want to call her a queen, and that's fine. But what really upsets me is when people act like she's better at Rick than like making decisions. It's like, well, Rick can't just go all half-cocked and kill people because, you know, he's got people looking at him. He has to think about his kids. Like, there's a lot of stuff involved in Rick's decisions, and he is more nuanced than Carol, I think. So that part annoys me about her fans.
Okay.
We got another comment.
Okay.
We got a comment from 439. And she says, do you all think that Morgan was leaving the Alexandria safe zone? At the end, it looked like he was heading towards the gate. What was in the blue bag he was carrying?
I'm so sorry, Kay. You kind of.
Can you repeat that again? Can you repeat it?
Okay. She says, do you all think that Morgan was leaving the Alexandria safe zone? At the end, it looked like he was heading towards the gate. What was in the blue bag he was carrying? Any thoughts?
I don't know. That was still muffled to me.
Yeah, I didn't catch it. I still didn't catch it.
Okay, sorry. I wasn't hearing anything that I said.
No, I guess I don't know if it's my speaker. I'm sorry. I really didn't understand the question, Kay.
So,
Can you write it?
yeah, I can type it.
It's not better.
You know, while she's typing it, Ashley, you're killing me. You are killing me with your amazing stories.
Oh God, thank you.
I'm still on her. Actually, I'm on chapter 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have a long way to go, but I really like it. It's
Thank
great.
you so much.
Yeah.
The story killed me, but
You know, I'm also on a diet, you guys. I know this is really bad, especially as the holidays, and I've been really good, but it's I feel like I'm starving myself because I need that carbs. I need the carbs and I need all that fat and all that sugar.
why are you doing this to yourself?
I know why.
Because when I first moved here, I was very fit, and then the winter just made me depressed and sad, and I was crying a lot, and I gained a lot of weight, and I just didn't like how I looked. so I'm doing it again. Okay, all right. I see the question, Kay.
Okay.
I did notice the blue bag,
Yeah,
but
I see it too.
Oh, I thought that was his lunch, really.
I did too.
I thought he needed a moment. I thought he needed like a moment. Like he needed to just step away from what had just happened in the zone. He needs to get back to his zen. So he just walked out. You know, I really think so. I mean, it's too small to be a knapsack. you know, to carry all your personal belongings in. And I just think that he just needed a moment, you know, because that just probably took a lot out of him, you know.
So do we think that he killed that last guy? And
that's what I want to know. Think he did?
I don't think he did.
Because he apologized. And he didn't
Another Tyrese. I really don't think he killed that guy.
I think they left it ambiguous. I hope that he did.
You mean to tell me you think that he didn't kill that guy after what happened with the last black man who had moral dilemma?
No.
Didn't kill that black guy?
No, I do not.
That's how they like to write the black men. That's their thing. That's their MO. I mean, that's another thing I was griping about last night.
I don't like that.
It's making me so torn and frustrated.
I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that.
I absolutely think he did kill the guy.
Yes.
Y'all don't be surprised when you see that little scruffy head boy running around. Don't be surprised.
Because why would you apologize?
We were all questioning whether or not Tyrese killed that guy, and he didn't. So,
well, they wouldn't repeat the same thing from last season, and if they did, I would be
Yeah.
Wait a minute, why wouldn't they?
I'm hoping that there will be a twist. That, like, they're repeating it, and then, but Morgan's actually going to learn from, or they're going to learn from their mistakes with Tyrese and actually have Morgan, like, kill people.
All right.
Well, didn't one of those wolves run away with a gun when he let them go?
Yes.
Didn't they grab a gun and run off?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's just a gun. How many bullets is in that?
No, it doesn't matter on the bullets. It only matters where the bullets hit. You know, it don't matter about the bullets.
If it's a 6-shot, it can do a lot. And if it's, if it didn't look like a 9mm, just,
all I'm saying is a gun can do damage. It doesn't matter how many bullets it is. He could be, Morgan be coming out the outhouse, taking a dump or whatever, and, the guy right there to shoot him in the head.
Yeah, but
matter how many bullets.
Fine. Morgan is just fine. You know who I'm really worried about right now?
Who?
I'm worried about Daryl. That's who I'm worried about.
I'm not worried.
He's a golden boy. He's a golden boy. However, there was some scenes, some backstory scenes where you saw him tied up to a tree or leaning on a tree, and there was a gun in his face. I don't know if he met up with
from the trailer. No, I think it's going to turn out that the people that kidnapped him or whatever, they are people that have run into the wolves, and so they're very wary about other people. And I think eventually, like, they'll like join Alexandria and they'll be fine. I don't think he's in any real danger.
Okay. I like that.
I don't either. He always finds a way to get out of stuff, so he alright.
Yeah, I'm not worried about him at all.
That's true.
He's gonna take a rock and get himself out of the bandages. He's fine. He alright.
Okay. Ron, Carl, and Enid. I want to talk about them. I mean, I know
Ron need to get popped in the lip.
Conversation. Maybe not. But I want to talk about that 3. I really, really do, because, I mean, I can get why Ron didn't want to go to the house with Carl, seeing that Enid just came out from the house, and it was technically Ron's girlfriend. But I just feel like what is actually going to transpire in the next couple episodes between Ron and Carl now that Enid supposedly left.
She's coming back. Where's she going?
Right, exactly. Like,
yes. She's the Bushel Walker, so she's gonna be back. I don't know though.
Bless his heart. It's too hot to wear a beanie. The hat needs to go.
But that hat is steady sweaty. It stinks. I bet you it stink under that cap, though. It is steady just wet up under there. Why you didn't get that haircut from your mama?
Look what she did to Rich.
He really should. That scene would have been so much better if he actually sat down in that chair and got in that haircut. I mean, I don't know why they wrote it like that. Like, I understand teen angst. I get it. We all been teenagers, so we know how we like to step up to my parents. But I would never, ever respond to my mother the way he did, because my mom was a professional backhander. So he would get you so
no,
good.
My mama would throw whatever was in the room at you.
Right. So like maybe that scene.
Whatever she could pick up, it was coming again.
Maybe that moment should have been better. I think he should sit down, got that haircut, have his conversation with his mom without the mother, Jessie, having to feel like she needs to remind him about the abuse that she got. I don't know. Domestic violence on a show, especially on The Walking Dead, should have been fleshed out.
Avoided.
It didn't. It didn't flesh it out. It's like they avoid it, and it tells me it spoke volumes. Like it says, okay, how do we write domestic violence? Okay, let's do it this way. We have to take this out because we'll be too preachy. It almost seemed like they're like one of those people that ignore it. Like they can hear the argument upstairs, they hear the hitting, they hear it, but then they're gonna ignore it. Like it's not our.
Well, they're locked in the closet.
That's what I got.
They're in the closet.
Yes.
So, Ashley, you gonna say something?
Huh?
Oh, did we know that Pete was hitting the kids too? That came out of nowhere to me.
Okay, yeah, I thought I had missed something too, but I guess apparently he was beating the kids too.
Okay.
I didn't think he was beating kids. I thought he was just beating Jessie.
Yeah, right.
Well, I mean, Carol mentioned it to Sam. She was like, he beat you, and now his dad get over it. And then I guess Jessie was like, raise your arm or something, and he's like, I can't because Dad beat him too. So like they had to make him even more of a monster than he was already. Right. That we would feel sorry for them. I don't know.
And still, I don't.
No, they did it poorly, you guys. It's like they don't want to talk about the violence in the home, and
it's implied.
But you can't imply something like that if you're gonna have Rick kill him. Like you gotta make it explicit. Because Rick
I gotta see some bruises. I gotta see where he did knock her out.
Yeah.
Right, because then I would be in favor to this. I would be like, get him, and get rid of him. Oh, and I would also be praising her becoming strong. I don't know. See, you guys, see how bad things can get when they do all this stuff so rushy and not having to think about the consequences. It's like they're so focused on the rating than actually getting the awards. And then people want to know why The Walking Dead isn't getting awards. It's because of this.
The writing is poor. Horrible. It's just not great.
No, it's very frustrating. It's like they deserve to get recognized. However, it's moments like this where you actually have to question. You just have to question.
I was reading an article where they were talking about that, where they were talking about why they were not getting any awards or why they were not being recognized for the writing. Because, I mean, like they were saying, 1 minute, the characters that we love, they're doing something great, and then the next minute we're like, why would they even do that? That's out of the norm for them to do something like that. So I'm so upset because we've been waiting for Morgan to come back, and then you give him this story plot that I feel like we've already covered. So I'm very upset by that because I was excited for Morgan to come back, and this is not what I was expecting from Morgan. So I'm feeling a certain kind of way.
It feels like really contrived conflict. Like, it's not enough that you have these people coming in killing everybody, but we've got to have somebody on our own team that's like effectively helping them by not killing them. That it's just, it's so contrived.
It makes no sense.
It feels like they're trying to make Rich look worse. I don't even know if it's worse or better with Morgan there, but it's just making Morgan look like he's still crazy to me. Because this doesn't make sense. How did you even get to Washington without killing anyone?
And you topping people with sticks and stuff.
I mean, I'm trying to think about where he could be coming from. Like, maybe he feels so much guilt about all the people that he killed before when he was back in King County or whatever. So, like, he feels like, I can't kill anybody for a bit. And then, hopefully, he'll get back to a place where, okay. I think, hopefully, they'll get to a place where, like, they will realize that they have to kill people, but they will never feel good about it. Like, it will always, like, eat at their soul or something. I think I can appreciate that. And I think we kind of saw that a little bit with Carol. Like, she was going around killing people, like it didn't mean anything to her, but then at the end, either she was feeling bad about having to kill people or feeling bad about all the people that were killed. I don't know, but hopefully they'll come to that balance where they'll be like, okay, we need to kill people, but we don't need to be happy about it.
Right. And how don't we know that already? Like, y'all been doing this a long time. You should already be over this part.
That's right. But apparently they're not.
I think Morgan crept in there. I think he kind of got in there at the end. You know, I think she really did sit down and think about, you know, what she was doing. You know.
Oh, Piper's got another question. She says, anyone ship Morgan and Carol?
Not yet.
Yeah, not as of now. Not right now.
Bring each other back to the middle and just be normal. I don't necessarily need a relationship right now.
Ship them as friends.
Yeah, bestie. He can teach her to be Zen. Namyor Karengekyo. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know at this point because I didn't like how they did each of their character last night. So.
And did somebody on Tumblr try to say when she had him tied up in the chains that she was like Michonne, like she was taking over Michonne? Did y'all see that?
Yeah, I saw it, but
I was like, girl, no.
It was like taking prisoner and all this stuff, and then, you know, the Walking Dead fandom can really upset me sometimes because
it makes me mad. I have to take a step back sometimes when I see things I see.
Last night, and I had the tweet deck up, so I was able to see mostly what everyone else was tweeting about. And at the end of the evening, they were just continuously comparing Carol to Michonne. However, they were praising her, Carol, as being awesome and amazing, and you know, I forgot what was the other one, and then how it was just seemed so weird how back when Michonne was doing all this in season 3, why is she so hard or mean? What's her problem? I mean, and I was like, okay, here it is, season 2. We got a silhouette of Michonne. She saved Andrea's life. Season 3, she thwarts the governor's plan. She won up Merle. She does the whole bitergram, which was genius. She gets to the prison. She was able, you know, to help out with the baby. She got them back to Woodbury to save Glenn and Maggie. She got into a fight with the governor, and she rightfully kicked his ass. And then yet they're crucifying her. I remember that. They were crucifying her on Twitter, and I was like, and then they even tried doing it again for season 5. I have never done so much like defending tweets, defending her character on Twitter. Like, she was by right to knock Rick out. I mean, look at Rick. He wasn't in his right mind when he was trying to talk to Alexandria in the way that he did. I don't get how they want to crucify Michonne like that and then praise Carol for doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
It's like I like to remind people that Michonne did it first. Like she did. I mean, everyone was doing their own thing, but you know, she was just continuously ahead of everybody else.
Yeah. And I guess that's maybe why she's falling back. She like, we fall back, you know. I don't know.
I just knew people got my nerves on something. I don't like fandom drama. It really makes me enjoy the show less, so I just try to stay off of it.
You know, that's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to stay away from Tumblr and Twitter on Walking Dead Night. Walking Dead Night and Scandal, because they're not really nice to Olivia on Thursday night either, and that's crap. Ugh, it's hard. It's hard. But yeah, I'm just gonna have to stay away.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I want?
Have we not covered?
I wanted to say that as far as with Michonne is concerned, and how they've been really dragging out her, you know, giving us any information. She's a prominent character in the comic, up there with Rick, Carl. The next person you immediately think, even though people always quick to say that it's Andrea, no, it's not. It's Rick, Carl, and Michonne, even as far as the comic is concerned. So my only problem with it is that, are you going to do Michonne justice? Because you've really been dragging your feet on a number of story arcs with her throughout the comic, and yet you say you're following the comic. You've been sidelining her a whole lot. When are you going to start giving her due as being a pivotal character in the comic? She is, right, like I said, it's Rick, Carl, Michonne. You can interchange it as much as you want, but those are the constants right there. So I would like to hope that they are going to do her justice. It would be a case of, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the way it is now, it would have a case of last night's episode, Carol was badass, and then Michonne come up and do some even crazier shit. It was like, oh, Carol must have learned something or must be on the same trailway as Michonne, because Michonne's been through more. She's been through a whole lot more than Carol. So if Carol is badass, then Michonne must be, double the time badass than Carol. Where's that story? Where's that one at?
Still waiting for it.
We're all waiting for it. So I guess, when I got upset on Tumblr early this morning about the thing with Carol, and it's not really so much Carol, has nothing to do with Jesse or any, even with Morgan. I'm a little bit pissed off about that still because of the redundancy. But when are you going to start putting Michonne up there? Because she is in the so is Maggie. Maggie is still in the comics. She's right there with Michonne. Where's Maggie's story? You've been like, I said this on Tumblr earlier, Maggie was the first hardcore female, on the show. They get on the horse and she ride through and she do the thing with the, come on, Maggie is, it's almost like they trying to make Maggie more, I don't want to say softer, but that's how it's coming about. Last night's episode should have been Maggie and Carol. Maggie been through this already. Maggie know how this roll, and they didn't do a lot for Maggie. So that's why I'm saying it's like this thing with Carol. I love Carol as a character and everything. She badass, but they not spreading out the badassness throughout all the females. They just not. Maggie's a badass. Maggie was the first female badass on that show. Where's her story?
Yeah, I don't know. It's frustrating.
Yeah, I don't understand.
because that's what her part in the comics is after Glenn dies, unfortunately. So I think that's coming.
No, I did not want Glenn to die.
They chopped up quite a bit in the prison. I mean, Maggie and Glenn, okay, Maggie lost her twin sisters to this crazy
man. Brutal.
He went hard on him.
That was brutal.
And then she cut her hair. I guess there's you know when a woman cut her hair off, because to me it's like, you know what, you're done. You're tired. Mm-hmm. Like you need a change.
They skipped over a lot of Maggie's storylines.
Yeah,
they
did.
So
do you think they should have left in the suicides that she had, or no? They should have just.
Also, the hunters too. Wasn't Maggie with the group when? Yeah, she was with the group.
Yeah.
To get the hunters, to get them back. Yeah. You know, in the show they have her leaving to Washington with.
She was there.
No, she was there. She was in the train car. She was there. She was the one telling Abraham and them, calm down. I know that Glenn and Rick coming back. Just hold on. You know, just hold your drawers. She was the one there that said they're gonna be coming back. Stop worrying. Maggie was in that train car. But this is why I'm saying that. It's like she's a badass. Why are you not giving her due?
Yeah, she is.
You know, they really are not. Even if you wanted to, as far as with the continuity of the whole story, let's say you want to veer off a little bit from Maggie comparison to the comic. Maggie was a badass back in season 2. Now all of a sudden she kind of, weak, kind of soft. She not ready to get dirty and everything. No, Maggie was always willing to get dirty.
I think that's
What was that, Ash?
I think the only reason she didn't do that in the first episode is because she's pregnant, and that's what they're low key trying to tell us.
I think she's pregnant. I'm still going with that one too.
Now, when you know a woman to be that far along in what is she, 6 weeks? When you know a woman to go ahead and just allow shit to go down in her community, she going to step up. And I'm not saying that Glenn wasn't right in doing it. I'm saying as far as the writers are concerned, Maggie would have did a whole lot more.
Yeah.
Maggie would have went in there with guns blazing. She handed, if she would have taken Spencer's gun, give me that shit here, you take mine. She would have went in there and started, like I said, it's the continuity of the story. That Jesse Rick thing cannot happen because it will fuck that story up completely. It would just throw it off. That's the same thing with Maggie. They shouldn't do Maggie like that. So, like I said, this show gets me way too involved. All right.
Yeah, it really does, because then you find yourself it's like you find yourself dissecting.
They need to hire some new writers. And I nominate Ash.
They do. They need a clean slate. Because that woman ain't representing for us.
No.
We need some color.
I'm expected to feel some kind of way when, like, 10 minutes into Talking Dead, he was like, oh, yeah, a woman directed it. And I was like, and? And so?
Yeah.
I didn't get any kind of woman representing women properly.
Yeah. Like he wanted to make sure to go out and say that a woman directed this episode. Did you like it? Type of thing.
Yeah, like it was just.
No, of course. Look, it's like, yeah, of course I liked it. A woman directed. That was a badass episode. You ain't have to tell me what the gender was of the person who directed it. That was a badass episode, regardless if it was man or woman. Why are you going that route? Why you got to tell me that? Why is that important?
I didn't stay for the whole episode. I just got very frustrated with it.
I didn't even watch it because I knew he was gonna make me mad.
Forgetting it, but he kept praising and praising and praising one person in the show, and I mean, okay, so yes, it was very Carol-centric. And he was trying to be funny in his I mean, there was a moment where Paul wanted to say something, and I was like screaming at the TV, like, would you just shut up so Paul can speak? Like, because I wanted to hear what Paul had to say. I love Paul Bettany. You know, he's been in a couple horror movies, and you know, he was a vampire angel hunter, and plus he played, you know, an angel coming down from heaven. So it's just and plus he was a fan, so I wanted to hear what he had to say. However, I turned it because I was just so turned off by Chris and what's his face, just fanboying, not really having a discussion. But I will definitely watch Talking Dead next week because we all know who's going to be on.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes, Yvette.
Yes. Yes.
Hopefully that means there'll be some good Richonne stuff.
Let's hope so.
And just great conversation.
Yeah.
I need some good conversation. I need some kind of. I need good Q&A. That's what I want. I don't know.
You know, I don't think we're gonna get it. Not this episode. I don't think so.
I don't think it's going to give us
too much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're just going to get separated, basically.
Yeah, they're going to get separated again. We ain't going to know what's going on till episode 8. And there you go.
But maybe it'll be like a touching goodbye.
They're recycling from last season. Oh my god.
That's what I'm saying. They're doing the same thing. If y'all ain't got nothing else to do, why don't y'all get some of us to come on there and write? Get us to come on there and write.
I mean, sure.
I'm going to throw a little bit of How to Get Away with Murder, Scandal, Blackish. Nah.
Or a continuity fan. You know, give someone that title where they were like, you just did this in season 3. You can't bring it back in 6. Come back with something fresh.
They've been doing it all along. Remember, what is it, 4-9? You had After, and that was Michonne, Rick, and Carl.
And I love that episode.
What's happening or what's going on? That was 5-9, and it was Rick and Michonne. You can almost pinpoint. You can pinpoint it now. The episode that they come back is on Valentine's Day. All right, we can guess that something's going on right there. You know, we don't know what it is.
It really all depends on 8. Really, I said it could go both ways. We can come back from break with a big death, or we can come back from 8 with an amazing sex scene, and I'll be good with that. I'll be good.
Right.
You know. I mean, because it's Valentine's Day. It could be a bloody Valentine's Day, or it can be an amazingly hot Valentine's Day.
I tell you what.
But I'd be like, okay, where did this sex scene come from, though? What happened in between from episode 9 to now? I just can't have you having me looking at Rick's ass. I just can't come back and we like, what? You know, what happened?
You know what? I promise you that it will not be anything that we want per se. It'll be something like an acknowledgement. It's going to be something that subtle. It's not going to be a sex scene. It's not going to be one. Maybe later on in 6B, but it's not going to be anything like that. It's going to be an acknowledgement or a kiss or something very subtle. They don't.
Damn it.
They're not.
Well, we got a comment from YouTube. Sorry, we got a comment from YouTube. Okay, so it's Exotic by Nature, and this person says, I want to see Rick freaking out over thinking he's lost Michonne. So maybe we'll see that in episode 3 or something.
I say yes. I would love to see that.
I agree.
so I can say to all those fans, I'll be like, oh, they're brothers and sisters. There's like no chemistry.
Yes.
I can shut the hell
But
up.
they still gonna be like, that's still his sister. He's misses his sister. They gonna come up with something.
They'll come up with something. They'll come up with something really
They
fantastic.
gonna come up with something.
Oh my God. But no, I really want something like that to happen because then he'll be really into his emotions and how very important she is to him. Granted, he knows this, but it will be that epiphany.
Right.
He did say that he comes back lighter in 6B. He comes back a little bit more pleasant. So we'll see.
I don't know if he's gonna come back that way, but I think he gets there. Is what he's saying. Because the
Right.
target.
Yeah, well, that's what he said in that at the
Yeah, I
the
know.
premiere thing.
I'm saying he
I'm
didn't
gonna come back.
that way. I think it happens at some point in 6B, but I think Carl gets shot like either in 8 or 9, so he can't be that light.
Right. And I can't believe they're going to shoot Carl in the face, in the eye. He's such a cute little boy. That is something so unorthodox for them.
But it's gonna bring so much to his character. It's gonna bring so much.
Hey, look, Rick got both his hands. He got both his hands. Rick got both his hands.
Pitching for his hand to be chopped off. He has been. It's not just one or the other. I'm just ready for something. I'm ready for something that's just gonna get all gassed.
You know what I'm ready for? I'm ready for them to start picking off people from this main cast. It's too many of them. It's way too many of them. They got out.
I agree.
There's too many.
I agree.
I'm okay with them keeping the whole cast. Like,
yeah, but if they could get rid of a person, I would say Tara.
No,
I just feel
Tara's
like
got to go. Tara's got to die. Tara got to die. And I'm all for badass women, but Tara got to go. There's no reason for her to be there. None. You can't
All
convince
she's
me.
doing is moping around. What is she doing?
And she's so pregnant. I don't understand how she's gonna last the season.
You up here moping around. Quit moping, girl.
Yeah, no, if there's somebody that I can, I could be like, it would be Tara. It would be.
Yeah, Tara can go. I say that every time. Bye, Tara.
Yeah, I don't understand her purpose.
I don't know. Then that would be it. I can't. I'm holding on to Team Family as much as I can.
And to be honest, I would be okay if Daryl went too.
I think Daryl's the only one I would be okay with if he died. I think he's had a good run.
Yes.
I'll be sad, but I'll be okay. Everybody else, but I don't even want him to die. I don't want anybody to die this season. I will be okay with nobody dying this season.
That's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
I know, but that's what I want. Like I was telling Lainey, I think that we need to see like them get into these really impossible situations where you think they're gonna die, but then they get out of them. I think that would be suspenseful and interesting. And then they can kill people off next season, but this season they shouldn't.
When I was reading the comics, I thought for sure that was gonna happen with Negan. Like they were gonna get out of it and everything's gonna be okay. And then Glenn got beat to death, and I was like, fuck all of this.
I took that hard. When I read that issue, I had to give it up for about a couple of months.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't. My whole existence, I can't. I was just devastated when he got that beat. It was so brutal.
I cried.
It was like I was there. I was there, and I saw it, and I cried too. I was just devastated.
Yeah,
I was going to happen. Ugh.
I I'm not looking forward to that.
Ooh, not him.
I don't want to give anything too much away. That's pretty much what causes a rift and divide between Rick and Michonne in the comics, because she couldn't and I don't blame her. I mean, why would you want to keep this guy alive?
Right.
Yeah.
And Rick gotten really soft in the comics. He did. And he just needed something traumatic to happen to him. So I'm just glad everything that's going on right now in the comics is like waking him up. And maybe he needs a Negan to help him because Alpha, you know, oh my God, what a woman.
Now that's a bad chick. That Alpha ain't no joke.
No, she's not.
She ain't to be played with.
I'm actually anticipating as far as how they're gonna work Carl getting shot in the eye, because that's like it's a pivotal moment for Carl, and especially now that Carl is like he's not a boy anymore. He's like 17, right? 17.
16.
Actor?
16,
Yeah.
16.
Yeah, so there's, you know, it's time for Carl to it's time for Chandler to shine. I know this boy can act. I've seen the movie on Netflix. Mercy. That was really good.
I did not like that movie.
You know, it was based off of Stephen King. That was based off of Stephen King.
He wasn't good in that one either.
That was really good. That short story was so good. Oh my goodness.
I might have to try it again.
Like grandma something, but it was like, okay, you see this Chandler rig? Why can't we see this Chandler rig on Walking Dead? It's like
because he's not in every episode. He only gets like 5 seconds and he's gone. You know? They need
to divvy up the time, man. I don't know. It's like I said in our last chat, I want to see Rick, Michonne, Carl, and Daryl again, like in season 4. I really like that. You know, they were home, even though they were heading to Terminus. God bless them. It was just them. And it just made the moment like, yeah, that's my family.
Your brother. Oh.
You know, but yeah, I don't know. There was just so much that was going on and so little that wasn't going on. But you know, now that it's on Tumblr, when I did my little whole rant on Jesse all of a sudden getting a backbone, in the response of the post, someone said that it was like a tongue-in-cheek to the Bet fans or Team Delusional Bet fans, because I did mention in my rant that how is it that you give a woman a scissors and pretty much have her aim correctly and living, and then you gave Beth, who's been out there the longest, die. It just doesn't make any sense. But someone said it was like a tongue in cheek.
It doesn't make sense.
I didn't see it as a tongue in cheek. I just saw it as bad writing.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And it was like,
didn't that woman see her coming to her with those scissors and she didn't shoot her?
Well, yeah, this is what, there was somebody responded saying, you know, we gotta understand Dawn had more experience because it was an instant reflex, reach for the gun and shoot. That's not what I'm talking about. I am talking about taking a person that we have seen for about, technically in the Walking Dead days, 3 days. Walking Dead world is 3 days from season 5 to season 6. All of a sudden doing all this stuff, and you want me to believe that when we didn't really get anything in season 5 about her character? It was just unbelievable to me. So I just had a problem with that. I really did. But then the responses...
You know what annoyed me about that scene? Is that we see her use the scissors dangerously, which is something that we would have thought that Rick might have suspected. But yet, the first thing he does when he sees her is let her cut his hair. And I'm like, this is what you should have been thinking about before you let her cut your hair. And it just made me mad.
Right. And why was she yelling? There's an intruder in your house. Stay in the closet, damn! Stay in the closet! I'm like, what is wrong with you? That whole scene made no sense to me. I was just like,
I was mad at her. And I thought her acting was horrible in that whole episode. Like, when she was talking to Ron, I was like, why is she so terrible? Ron was fine, but her acting just was, I don't know.
I thought they were both awkward. I thought that scene was awkwardly shot, awkwardly long, awkwardly acted.
But just the way she was responding to him, I was like, why aren't you talking? It was so weird.
It was bad. I know I said this earlier. It was just bad. It was. You expect to do something for. Oh, and then someone sent me a message telling me it's because I don't like the actress. And you know what, you guys? I didn't have a problem with the actress, you know. You know when I had a problem with the actress? That BS she did on Twitter, trying to throw our fandom under the bus, and then having her little minions, you know, attacking us. I'm not saying us in general, but you know, I'm talking about the Richonne fandom as a whole. Like, you expect me to believe that you went looking for pictures and all this nonsense. This is when I really didn't care too much for her. It just tells me a lot about her character. Not her character that she plays, but herself, personally.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to be, like, funny or nothing, but she's 33 years old. Look at the people she hangs out with. They're a lot younger than her, so she's like a child anyway. You know what I'm saying? And I can't even blame that on that, because Kristen Sorrento's, she doesn't sit up there and do that stuff. You know, she posts a lot. She's very active, you know. So I can't blame on that.
I don't think it's fair to judge someone based on what they do on Twitter. Like, I think she probably was looking for pictures. She found the pictures, and then, like, she saw a link to something that was anti-Jessic, and probably knowing that she shouldn't do it, but we all been there. We click on something that we know we shouldn't look at, and then it got her upset. They were probably just talking about Jessie, her character, and not actually her as an actress. But I think you still take this stuff personally, and I think she got upset about that, so she wrote about it. I think she did one tweet that she deleted. I think...
No, it was bad.
I don't understand how she got about it.
I'm sorry. She's done this before. She's done this before. She has.
She did it I think she did it one time before, and that was because someone actually was tweeting death threats at her. It wasn't a Richonne fan, but the reason why it got blamed on us was because Lone Wolf Chick was blaming us for it, but that wasn't on her. She was responding to something that actually happened to her, and I think it was fair.
I think the last time she did this, like, one person said they liked Richonne over Jessie but still loved Alexandra, and she made this whole thing about ship whatever you want, like a bunch of people were bothering her. And I'm like, why do you keep implying that we're like some victim? It's really annoying, and it makes people come at us like we're the wrong ones, and that's what I don't care how she feels, but when she points it at us, it makes it seem like we're doing something when we're not. I'm like, girl, shut up. We didn't do anything.
Right. Well, I think it would be safer for her. It's not like she's done this once or twice. I don't think that she's done anything too terrible.
You should know better. Okay, it's like 1, 2, 3. Okay, common sense would tell you to just turn off Twitter and exit your laptop or your phone immediately. Just walk away. But like I said, this isn't new with her. So that's my problem. I mean, there are a ton of actors and actresses that I just don't care about. But I mean, come on, man. This is your job. I mean, can you just...
The writers? It was like,
can you imagine David Moore? Look at David. He played the governor, okay? Can you imagine what kind of beef he was getting? And you don't hear about it. You know, you see a lot of touchy-feely with him and Denai during those Comic-Cons, you know, which was really cute. But I was like, you see, he's a professional. It's, you know, it's, I just have a problem with that. But I'm just really surprised that someone would message me about that. Camille, I was disappointed with Spencer too. I was.
Oh, Spencer.
Well,
Spencer. Is he really like that out there? Yeah, it's really like that out there, homie.
Yeah, I don't know. I was upset with him. I was like, this is your moment to shine, and you failed me.
You know, I think we had high expectations. I think we had very, very high expectations for some of these characters, and they just didn't shine through. They didn't push through. They just didn't push through. And I was very upset by that. I was very upset.
There's still a long way to go.
This particular episode, I did like it. I'm not even going to lie. I liked it. It had my heart racing. I was glued to the TV set. Like I said, it was a better episode than last week, but that still does not negate the fact that, again, Carol gets, you know, probably what's going to be the best episode out the season. You know, you can't spread that a little bit of writing love around to everybody else. I mean, in particular, Michonne, but she's my favorite. But Maggie, you know, and Carl, you know, you can't spread that love around to nobody else. That, you know, badass, again, she gets another, you know, pivotal episode. So I don't have no qualms about last night's episode. It's just that it feels like it's going to be a case of, oh, you know, why did I even get my hopes up high that you were going to make sure to spread that kind of writing ability around to everybody? That's what I think got me so upset about it earlier today. You know, it's like, why did I expect you guys to do nothing less than what you've been doing the last 2 seasons?
Right.
Well, I mean, we are only in episode 2. They still have a chance to make it up to us.
They do. They do. But right now, I'm just maybe that's what they planned on. They say, oh, well, let the expectations for Michonne's story off of Maggie or Carl's to be real down low. And Carl can't even be put into the group because we know Carl is going to get somehow maimed or one another before the first half of the season ends. Are we going to get more Maggie? Are we going to get anything more other than Carol? You know, that's going to be the biggest thing. So, like I said, for me, that's what pissed me off earlier today, was that last night's episode was so good, and yet we are here another season. You can't give that kind of shine to any other female in the group again. Really? You know, and Sasha had a good arc last season. I'll give her that. That was a good one. You know, but I guess, like I said, Michonne's my favorite. We've been waiting for a little bit more from her, you know, for a while now. You can't come up with anything, nothing really, other than following behind Rick, making sure to take care of him. He not really giving no affirmative acknowledgement of, you know, what's going on between the two. She put herself out there for him. Is he? I mean, we got these couple of, you know, eye glances. I remember people earlier today was commenting on the glances between the two when they were firing off the flares, and I get what they were saying. There was one caption, I don't know if it was on Spoil the Dead or whatever it was, but they was like, Rick looked at Michonne because she stepped back from the wall and she was kind of scared, and then he fired off the flare right where he was, trying to shoo the walkers away. I was like, okay. You know, I said, but I tried not to watch the show with my shipper glasses on that damn hard. You know, it's like, can I get a little bit more than that, than the glances? You know, we had that glance back in season 5 premiere. You know, can I get a little bit more something there? So I know where people are going when it comes to Richonne, and we analyze it, and I love it. But like I'm an attorney or something. But the bottom line is that is nothing affirmative. That can be taken either way. That it could be taken either way. That's the bottom line. I want something confirming that there's something going on there. Outside of that, we can speculate. We can watch all 6A and 6B, and they will give us the same shit that they did last season. And we will be sitting here a year from now doing this same speculation. That's not right.
I won't. They've got this. They've got this.
Yeah, I told y'all I'm done. After this season, I'm through. You know, I'm done. I'm not gonna do this because there's other stuff besides the Richonne ship that's making me mad with this show. You know, I look at Michonne by herself. You know, I want her to be able to have her own too, and they're not doing that. So it's making me very upset. You know, that we're doing the same okie doke from last seasons and the seasons before. So I'm like, by this season, if you don't impress me, I might be gone by 6A, the end of 6A, unless you turn it around.
And you make a good point, because you want to see Michonne shine. You know, you've been waiting for her to shine, but now she hasn't been shining so much. You're busy looking at other characters that ain't shining. Wait a minute. You know, it's like, you know, you ain't really do too much with Carl last season, so now you're like, well, where's, you know, Carl's story now? Yeah. You know, you start analyzing all the others in comparison to who has been predominantly out there for the season. So I'm thinking in my mind, just like you, Tennille, it's like, all right, you know what? Maybe it's you know, that Hollywood thing. They keep sidelining Michonne, sidelining her. But then you got to go back. It's like you think to yourself, well, are they only sidelining Michonne? And then you go back and look, and it's like, no, they sidelining Carl, they sidelining Maggie. You know, it's a whole bunch of it. And what does it always go back to? But they give a whole lot of shine to Carol and Daryl.
Yeah,
that's where the shine goes.
Yeah.
That's why one of them got to go. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I mean, look at how they messed up Tyrese.
They just need to balance out their stories.
Look at how they messed up Tyrese, though, because we still had Daryl. I put that on Daryl. I'm sorry. I put that on his character why we didn't get enough scenes with Rick and Tyrese. Because, whew. Oh,
Tyrese was pretty much Rick's like second.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was the man. But I tell you what,
man.
It will be interesting to see what they do with Daryl this season, because from the feeling that I got from Daryl last season, he was kind of going a bit stale for me. He was kind of. It's hard to describe. I just know that I like the Daryl from season 2. You know, and I know there's character development that's needed there in order to keep the character interesting. But right now, and that's why I think they're trying to put that character conflict between Rick and Daryl in the forefront in the premiere, because Daryl's character was getting a little bit, you know, I'm tired of this Daryl. You know, really, I mean, season 4, all right, you lost Beth, you lost the prison. Yeah, you know, I feel you on that one. But season 5, Daryl was just like, he just, it was a straight line. It wasn't nothing interesting about it. Even the thing with him getting to know Aaron and Eric, I felt as though that was like a gimme. Well, let's hurry up and write that shit in there so we can give Norman some work. You know, that kind of thing. So, but I have to say, as much as I like Daryl, I wouldn't have a problem if he ended up getting Lucille. You know that. I think his character is done for me.
I do too. There's nothing else that they can do with him. And then they're saying that he's not even going to have a big part in this, part of season 6. A lot of his fans are upset because they're hearing that he's not going to come back till about 6 or 7, episode 6 or 7. That you won't really get a lot of him this
when
first
he come back, he's going to get his own episode. I guarantee you that. He
You
going to
know
get
what?
his
If
own.
they do that, I'm
They're going to give him his own episode.
Well, if he is gone for 4 or 5 episodes, then don't you think that's fair? That there's kind of spreading it around so that he's not the subject or he's not the main character in so many episodes?
I think that's great, but don't give him his own episode in 6B.
They'll give him. But
Don't do it.
That's because their cast is too big. That's why he got to go all that time to whenever they bring him back in. The cast is too damn big. Y'all need to pick off some people quick. Pick them off.
And you can't have him clash between Morgan and Rick, that storyline. So that's why they got him out in the bushes, tied up somewhere.
Yeah.
It's the truth. He can't interfere with that storyline. So they got to do something with him. They do need to trim down the cast.
They really need to trim it down. And Tara's got to be one of them. Tara got to go.
Because they can't write all these people. They don't know how to write them. It's just...
Yeah, exactly, Tanil. They don't know how to write. If you're going to do something like that, it's going to have to be in line with something like the Game of Thrones. You got to write a full arc for the characters if you're going to try and keep them all in there. Otherwise, we're not going to really be interested.
That's at least Game of Thrones know exactly what they're doing. Last season I really didn't care too much for Darryl myself because he was sad and mopey and whatnot, and I agree with Camille on that. However, I like Darryl. I like him.
I like him too.
I'm done.
But
listen, if we're gonna thin down Team Family, if we're gonna have to do that, okay, then Abe got to go. Tara has to go too, and Tara has to go because I don't see anything else for her being. What else can be done? Abe is going through something right now, and I don't know what it is.
Not Abe. They haven't flushed him out yet. They haven't flushed him out. I'm sorry. Not Abe.
Abe's got to out. You know what? You can do you can base Abe's thing on the fact that he a soldier and he know how to take a life when need be, and he know how to take out walkers. He can't die all that soon. He's got to die. If he's going to die, he's got to die like in the comics, in which, from what I understand, Kirkman is not planning on killing him.
Now we're gonna have to disagree on anything. See. I choose Abe and Tara, and you guys are choosing Darryl. You're wrong for that.
No, I'm not.
Darryl, where can you go with Darryl? Tell me, where can you go with him right now?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
We still haven't had.
Where you go with Darryl?
Where can you go?
He still hasn't hooked up with Carol yet.
Exactly.
That ain't happening.
That's not. I don't think that's going to happen.
That ain't happening.
I'm with Danielle on that. That's not happening.
I don't know why not.
That ain't happening.
I wouldn't mind seeing it.
And that's what fans are saying about Rick and Michonne. That is not going to happen. Why can't Darryl and Carol happen? I want
to. What did Yvette Nicole Brown say? We gonna get Michonne, but we got to work a little bit harder for Carol and Darryl.
But here's the thing. No, wait a minute. Here's the thing. They have not ever flat out denied Rick and Michonne, which is what I had said on Tumblr a couple months before. They've never flat out said it. They have flat out said that Carol and Daryl are not meant to be a couple. Now they could go
They're
ahead
brother
and change.
and sister. They're our brother and sister. They
can
use
go ahead.
that.
They can change it now that there's such a following for it. But initially, I want to say it was either Kirkman or Gibble, and I'm almost sure it was Kirkman. He said that Carol and Daryl were not meant to be a couple, and even Norman Reedus said it. Yeah. So that Carol and Daryl thing, like I said, I'm with everybody else. I think they should get together, but they flat out said that was not a thing.
Well, that's
they've never said Rick and Michonne wasn't a thing. They've never come out and said that's the only holding out thing that I got going there as far as Richonne is concerned. They have never flat out, because like I said in Tumblr a couple weeks ago, if they weren't going to do it, then why not say you're not going to do it?
You know,
just say it.
Okay,
just say it.
I'm just saying. I just think the foreplay between Rick and Michonne is taking forever. I'm just ready. Like, just give it to me, and just give it to me right now. I just want it. So
but that's what I was saying. They're baiting it. They're baiting it. They are trolling that whole Rick and Michonne thing until they are able to come out and say no, Rick and Michonne is not a thing. Then they're gonna be stringing people along. And I tell you, that's marketing genius.
They'll ever come out and say that they're not going to do it, even if they aren't going to do it, because they want to troll us and
keep us there.
That's right. That's right. And that's why there's got to be a line drawn in the sand. It's like, listen, I follow the comic. Maybe not your whole general audience does, but there's a good portion of us that know the comic. We know the Rick and Andrea storyline. We know that this is the season that is supposed to happen, from between Nowhere Out and the Hilltop and coming up with the Saviors. We know that Rick and Andrea in the comic get together. That's in there. You following the comic so hard, then this has to be the season. If you're not doing it, then you're just you're trolling. You're playing. You're playing now. The story requires that happen. If you're following the comic like y'all say, then this relationship is supposed to happen. And if it don't happen, then it's, for me anyway, it's going to ruin the whole the story as a whole.
Yeah.
Because now you're playing now. You're like, oh, we following the comic. Oh, but you're not following this pivotal moment in the comic. You're not following that. That's going to leave a bad taste in my mouth. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It just can't.
Well, I need to get going, so why don't we leave it there? And
all right.
I'm glad all of you could make it. And we'll see you again next week.
You know, how many of us was on the video chat? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of us. Oh, that is awesome.
And yeah, we had I think at the most we had 9 viewers too. So yeah, we've got a pretty good audience, I guess.
Yes, we do.
Yes, yeah, 9 is good. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining.
Not complaining at all.
And so thanks to everybody who was watching. And thanks to you guys for coming out. And I'm sorry that I didn't get to all of our comments. We got a lot of comments this time, so that's great.
Oh.
But I guess we can respond to them on YouTube.
So people are watching. That's great.
Yeah.
So if you want to post the link to the video on Tumblr, then if you guys want to take a look at the comments, you can respond to them.
Oh, that would be cool. But thanks for joining us, group chat. Always make sure to thank the group chat. That's a good thing.
Thanks to you guys for coming out. And I'm sorry that I didn't get to all of our comments. We got a lot of comments, so that's great. Okay, so I'm going to stop the broadcast now. Bye, guys.
All right.
Okay. Bye. See you guys.
Bye.